This episode is entitled Darker the Berry, the Sweeter the Juice. And I named that for several reasons because one, I wanted to play on darker as in black folks. And then berries and juice for women because we black women, we are the sweetest things on the face of the planet. Like I just love that. Like if not us, then who? Okay. That's and I have one of the sweetest berries, the darkest berries coming so sweet, such a soul that's ever since I met her, she just left and I just can you bring out your special gal, Brianna Lee? I wish I had my machine to make the noise. Hi!
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
sister.
I live. I
I
live for the.
am. Okay.
I live. I live. I live.
Period.
Um, I just live for the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's something
Period.
my mom used to say to me since I was a child. So I love that. Oh,
I
what a
love
way for the
that.
ancestors to come through, right?
You see how that because I didn't even know. I didn't even like normally I
Yes.
ask somebody like, what should we entitle this episode? But I was like, you know what? I'm sweet, she's sweet, we dark skinned girls, like we berries, period. So
Period.
okay, so introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Brianna Lee. I'm a Black trans woman. I
Period.
am the co-founder of Black Trans Blessing. I am 25. I am from BX. I am from the Bronx.
Hey.
um, I am an aspiring model. I'm a writer. I am a lover. I'm a
Ooh,
granddaughter.
period.
I am a mother in some ways.
Yes.
And I am also I'm everything that my ancestors would have wanted me to be as a Black woman. I
Yes.
am like pure divine feminine energy built off the backs of them and
Mm,
given down from them. And I'm just very like, ooh. So,
period. So
period.
Mouthy moment. Let's take it back. When I first met Brianna, the first time I met her was at BGR back in Las Vegas, and I just fell in love with you. Like I'm not a friendly bitch at all. Like I have my guards up, but I saw so much of myself in you. It was like I was looking in the mirror and I was just like, I love your soul. Like I love your energy. And I'm so thankful that we could build our sisterhood and that you were able to come onto the show today.
I'm blushing so hard, y'all.
Yeah. Okay. You that one, you that girl, period. And don't you ever forget it.
Oh my God, I love you so much. And I love being a part of moments where I could love on the girls and the girls can also love on me. Raquel, you
Yeah.
are just amazing. I call you my twin for a reason.
Period.
Um, yeah, I just love who you are as a person.
Thank you.
You offer so much wisdom
Now I'm blushing.
and you always offer space for like growth. And like you have been someone that in moments where I feel like my mind is all over the place in a room, I look towards you,
Oh, same.
Bree, and I can feel more level because I know that there are real people around me,
Yeah.
very real spirit.
I love that. So, Twin, before we get into the shits, let's play a game to do an icebreaker to take the edge off in case you might be a little butterflies, okay?
A little
Um,
bit.
so I like to call this game forward thinking. And so with forward thinking, you don't want to think too much on it. I'm going to show you a word. The first thing that pop into your mind, that's what you say. It could be a
Mhm.
sentence, it could be a person, it could be a place, a memory, whatever. Um, so don't think too much on it and don't be apologetic for the first thing that comes into your mind, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, ready, set,
Hmm.
go. Let's see. Can you see that?
My mom,
Yes. Okay. And
1 second.
joy.
My family, the one I made for myself,
I love that.
Josiah.
Mhm.
Me.
Okay, okay, fair.
Freedom.
Mm, okay, let's see.
Sisterhood.
Mm,
Mm, damn.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that. That's gonna be my follow-up question.
My family, my sisters, all the trans women.
Period.
Um, Holistic.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Mm,
lastly,
my mom.
oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. Like
Yeah.
for being open and vulnerable. And so, one thing was going back into like um we decided to do this episode Black Joy because we really wanted to honor shout outs to BTF for the collaboration. We really wanted to center, well, it was really imperative for me to follow our leaders and the people that I know are doing amazing work and just like our gems and our pearls. And you came to mind and like I want to archive the work that you do and who you are as a person. So I guess can you talk to me a little bit about your experience when you first interacted with people of BGR or the Black Trans Fund?
Ah, when I first went to my first BGR, first of all, I'm honest. I'm a Leo, so I'm gonna give it to you straight in the face.
As you should, twin.
I
Okay.
felt very small.
Okay.
Um, Not because of uh, looks or things like that, but because of things that actually meant something. It
Mm,
made me feel like I lacked substance.
okay. I
Um,
kind of felt that same way too. Like it was so much growth that I recognized when being in that room that I needed to do.
yeah, and it kind of felt like I seen so many like magnificent girls in that space and
Mhm.
women, let me say women in that space. And I was young and that was my first time attending something like that. And I never in my life thought I would see Black trans women in that position ever. The
Same.
only way I thought that I see, like when I see my elders and my sisters, were through sex work.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I hate to say it like that because I think sex work is such a demonized thing, but it
Yeah.
was a survival thing for my elders and my ancestors.
Mhm.
And it was the first time where I see that girls' life started out one way and they were able to make it something else.
Yeah.
And then something lit up in my heart where it kind of felt like I can do whatever the fuck I put my mind to. Don't
Period.
not explain it. I just left there like all those girls are Black trans women, and I seen dark skinned Black trans women in that
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And it just made me feel it was Brie Rivera. I seen a dark skinned Black
Mhm.
woman.
Mhm.
It was Janetta Johnson. It was you. And it just made me feel like, oh, we in this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we really in here. And I'm like, Brianna, I'm young, but that doesn't mean that
Yeah.
because I'm young, I can't take charge now
Yeah, and
and
you
that I
made so
can't.
much impact, you know what I mean? Like, you made a lot of impact with coming into the space and, like, giving us hope. Like, when I see the younger women come in and hold space, I was like, "Okay, our legacy not gonna die. Like, it's gonna continue to move forward. Like, nothing will be in vain." So, yeah.
That is so true. I love how you put that.
Yeah, of course, of
I,
course.
and I also love my elders because
Yeah,
when I went there, the first elder that I met was Janetta Johnson, and she was the one that was called to me the most. My
yeah,
spirit would not allow me to walk past her.
same.
There was a lot of things that she had been through and a lot of adversities, and I went to her and then I singled her out of every other beautiful elder in that space,
Right.
and I said, "I love you and I admire you," and everyone said thank you, but her.
Mhm, mhm,
And I wasn't talking to you all. You all are amazing, but I was talking to her, Janetta Johnson.
mhm.
And something in my spirit was like the humbleness around her, the fact that she didn't even think I was talking to her,
Yeah,
and how magnificent she like kind of appeared to me, like a unicorn. Like
right.
it was just, I fell in love. And
You know, the one thing about Miss Janetta that I love the most is that her ability to be just her. Like she don't bullshit you. She not about to sit here and play politics or favorites or nothing. Like she gonna tell you like it is. She gonna tell you what she been through, and either you can receive it because real recognize real. Either you can receive it or you can't. But either way, I love that she don't make an excuse for how she shows up. Like she literally shows up in her fullness, and I just love that. Like it makes me be like, "Well, bitch, you ain't gotta sit here and play pretend as if you ain't been through some shit. Like let it be known and show up when and let girls know you've been through trauma." So Oh, hi, brother. So good to see you. Okay.
Yeah, I know he was gonna join to come and watch me.
As he should. So let's get into the work that you're doing at Black Trans Blessings. Tell me about how it came about, how you came to be co-founder, and all those wonderful things.
It is so real, but it's so real. I'm gonna tell you how this happened, right? We
Okay.
went to Philly Trans Health Conference and they had all these things for trans guys. There was like Packers and they even had gas and things.
Okay. Period.
But all of them were like you had to pay for them.
Mm.
And some of the stuff were like $80. And I thought, in what world do they think black trans people
Yeah.
who's coming to a convention for trans issues
That's
and
right.
trans
Josiah.
things can afford that? And then I seen that there was a table full of white people selling to white people.
Mm-hmm.
And on the raffle line, there were so many black trans people, and they were only raffling two. And
Mm.
there had to be like 100. And I remember Josiah getting a ticket, and he was kind of sad that he didn't get it. And he just said, I don't see why black trans people don't have these things.
Right.
And I remember thinking about the gaps, and I'm like, that is so true because those gaps are like $40, $50, which sounds like nothing to someone, but to
We.
someone in a place where family is not supporting or they don't have like financial stability,
Yeah.
how could they ever afford something like that?
Mm-hmm. And just for the fact of like, I don't know how other people understand access, but sometimes you have a limited amount of time to be able to be in community, to feel safe, to feel seen, and then to add on that to get the resources or see something that you know will really like validate yourself and not be able to get it because you can't afford it in that moment. It's one of the most devastating things that like you oftentimes see people experience, and I hate it. I hate it for people of color, and I especially hate it for trans folks, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
guess
and I
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I think it kind of correlates to like a childhood for me also.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of I don't want to say black homes, but I also want to say black and brown homes have experienced instability financially
Yeah,
and not knowing what things are and where are they going to come from type situations.
yeah,
Um, so it felt like when that happened, it was kind of like a slap to the face because it was something I was so excited to go to since I was
yeah,
a child, like a young trans kid. And I went there and seen that nothing was there for me, even though it was all about me, if that made sense.
yeah. You know what's funny is that, like, those conferences that I feel like could use the most improvement by things like that, they never ask you afterwards to take a survey or how can we improve because they don't wanna take the accountability for knowing that, like, actually, if you lower some of these prices or if you stop funneling your money to something that we don't need, like a piñata, you would actually be able to bring a whole bunch of more black trans folks to have this experience or be in this space or give out some shit for free. Um, so what does it mean for you for BTF to be able to support your work?
Aha. Okay, so BTF, what it means for them to support my work is to support my ideas
Yeah,
and to support my community. Like at one point, I think folks when they do this work, they start saying like, "How is it like?" I don't really think of it that way. I think of it more so as BTF supporting my community. Even though
yeah,
it is
yeah.
my work is my community. I am my community. We are
Period.
all in this bitch together.
Together, okay?
So BTF supporting me allows me to have spaces and allows me to offer things that I had to make bad decisions for in the past to get.
Yeah, that's real. I thank you for naming it.
Yeah.
Um,
And BTF allows us to really they allow us to have our like when it comes to programming and things like that,
yeah,
they allow us to have the most wild ideas and they are very like it's something about that word joy for them
me
that has
too.
made it such an important part of my life now. Like everything is like if it
Yeah.
doesn't can do joy, it has to go.
Okay, period. Because 'cause I'm on
Like
that same type of time.
that word joy that they constantly bring up has been a positive reinforcement in my life. That word has like done so much for me. And
Yeah.
in the work that I'm doing, I am finding joy. And by them helping us do the work, it's like I'm constantly in a state of joy. every event that we throw, every time we give something out, every time we offer a service, it's just like this grateful feeling to those entities like that that believe in an initiative of a black trans woman from the Bronx who's 25,
Okay,
who
period.
has basically just a high school diploma, no college, no anything, but a dream and an idea and a desire and a want better for her community. And they were able to get behind me. And yeah, whew, it was just
Love
very,
that. I love
yeah.
that. Period. So right now, one heart-wrenching question. You mentioned something about seeing dark-skinned women, and oftentimes I try and steer away from colorism, because I'm mostly impacted by it, and I feel like oftentimes my experience get swept under the rug or it just gets silent, so I don't bring it up. But how do you feel in this work, or if it has impacted you in any type of way, with being a darker woman?
Ugh. Okay, how much time y'all got? Now I'm joking. I'm gonna
Okay,
say
period.
that real
No, for
quick.
real, I be feeling like that, but I can only connect and have these conversations with girls like me and you. You know what I mean?
I feel like as a dark skinned trans woman, especially someone who like has like sometimes issues with eating, which might make my weight on the larger spectrum.
Mhm.
There is this thing where like I'm also 5'11", and right now I'm at a smaller weight, but when I was larger, being dark skinned, I felt like people villainized me.
Yeah.
And like even if I wasn't loud, people tone police me.
Yeah.
And like for some reason, any behavior I did was always seen as aggressive. So sometimes there's been spaces where I've shared with some of my sisters who are racially ambiguous or black trans women that are lighter. And there were times where I felt like I wasn't heard.
Yeah.
There was times where I felt like my femininity was being diminished. And there was at one point where I felt like there was nothing wrong with my femininity, but at one point it felt like being around these people and their crucial idea of my femininity and not like no like they don't even get into their femininity as much as they was getting into mine.
Yeah.
And the way that I looked, it kind of it was like rooted hate. They gave me poison in a meal as a sister. Like
Yeah.
it was like I love you, but they were so crucial of me. And I've always heard the jokes like, oh, the little African booty scratchers and stuff like that since
Yeah.
I was young. And so being a dark skinned woman in certain spaces, like I believe just like in Hollywood, sometimes in community work and people are not gonna like it, it's a brown paper bag test.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Certain venues want certain girls of certain colors. And if we stop ignoring the fact that they're going towards girls that don't offer any substance, and I don't mean to be shady at all, but
No.
because they look and make cis people feel good and they make white people feel comfortable. They're
Yeah.
fair skinned enough to make them feel at peace. It's a very big difference. And I
Speak
think
on it.
when dark skinned women show up passionate in any situation, just like dark skinned men and individuals, when we show up any way that we do, whether it's us speaking our mind or whether it's us just trying to get someone to be empathetic or even listen to our emotions, there's this
Yeah.
lack of humanity when it comes to me. And when I bring this up, I'm gaslit in a fire, like hellfire that I cannot put out. Because then I go home and I'm sitting and festering with insecurities. Like, is this me? Am I in?
Mhm.
And it's like you all know what's going on here, and we all know like that black dark skinned women have been treated so poorly, and we are continuously treated poorly in spaces, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't feel good.
Have you ever experienced, because I often run across this as a dark skinned woman, that when I'm feeling my oats or, like when I show up in spaces hella confident like I do, um, as a dark skinned woman, it's like people intentionally want to try and knock some pegs into me to lower me. And they just be so shocked that, like, how dare she be black as fuck and come in here like she's done data? And I'm just
Period.
like, girl, is you crazy? If not me, then who? Okay. Like, what? So I don't know if
My my grandmother, God rest her soul, she passed November
I
1st
am so
of
sorry for your
this
loss too.
year. She said something to me when I was young and said, people's worst fear, basically white man's worst fear, is a black woman's smile. Ain't nothing more whiter and brighter than that. So
Yeah.
when they see us smile, that beauty attached with that dark skin,
Yeah.
and those beautiful pearly white teeth is something that they're not able to handle. And it makes them so uncomfortable because they can't understand how something that is so beautiful is constantly told that it's not and it still grows beautiful. It's like putting us in a barren wasteland and we still grow. So I think people make it their initiative to wipe the smile off a black woman's face, especially a
Yeah.
dark skinned woman's face, because of how powerful it is. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Okay, period. Thank you for answering that because that is just something that I've been on and I just been I just never get the name. So, how did you discover your womanhood, twin?
Ah! Okay,
Period.
so I was so young and I just knew something was so wrong with me. And I was so young and there was this film. I was young. I always said I wanted to be a girl. And I knew it was crazy, so I couldn't say it out loud. Like my
Right, right,
mom
right.
wasn't like that, but I just knew that wasn't real. So I used to like man turns into girl. And I started watching drag shows. And then one day I stumbled upon this thingy. I was like 11. It was called Trantasia. I don't know if anyone's seen this or if anyone's heard about it. It was a pageant for trans women. I think they were
Okay.
given money to pay for surgery or something like that. And there was beautiful trans women. And I said, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my fucking God. Like I could do that. And then my mom walked in, right? She said, what the hell are you watching?
Mhm.
I said, Mommy, these are men. She was like, hmm? And she looked again at the screen and she said, oh snap, they ain't men no more. And
Mhm.
she said, why are you smiling so much? You want to do that? And I said, yeah. And she said, okay. And walked out the room.
Period.
Said nothing else and walked out the room. We didn't talk about it for years. And then there was this trans woman from New York. Her name was Dana Desire Ebony. And, I love God. Like, my first love is God. And it was at one point where I have to be honest, I loved God more than I loved my mom because
Mhm.
I felt like He gave her to me.
Yeah.
And, like, I ran to the church because me being Brianna was such a bad thing. I would never hurt anybody. I would never I didn't understand why me being me was so bad. So I ran towards the church for safety to help me because you said I can pray something away.
Yeah.
And instead, I started to hate me for no reason.
Yeah.
And there was this trans woman that lived across the street from my church, and my pastor, we came outside, and I just finished singing in the choir. He looked across the street and was like, don't look at her. Don't look at them. I'm like, why? Her name was Dana Desire Ebony, beautiful black trans woman, dark skin at that.
Mhm.
And she had like this basement level floor to a building, and I walked across the street because they was telling me that she used to be that. And one day I walked up to her and she was like, come here, because I had fresh tips on. I had fresh tips on with the 3D glasses, lens popped out,
Okay.
capris, toms, V-necks. I was really put cutesy patootsy. And
Okay.
she said, what she said to me, she said, come here, those nails? I said, yeah. She said, you want to be a girl? I said, no. She said, yes, the fuck you do. I said, no, because you can't do that. She said, yes, you can. And I said, what do you mean? She was like, you can go as far as getting a, mind
Uh-huh.
you, I'm like 13. And she said that shit. And I immediately heard the, it's all in
Yeah, the bells and whistles went off.
me.
Period.
That I am every woman just smacked the hell out of me. And like it made me feel like, oh my God, there's a such thing as freedom. And I thought my mind was so caught up on surgery, but it wasn't just surgery that I needed. It was to be myself. And
Yeah.
I equated being a woman to the surgery at that young age because that was what the pastor said to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that that was my cheat code. You
Mhm.
know, my cheat code.
So,
Yeah.
your berry is so sweet, honey. Okay. Your berry is so sweet that somebody wanted to pick from your tree. Tell me about the first time that you and your babes met. Okay.
Oh my God. So I was in the village, right? And I was very skinny. This is when I thought I was going to be like a model,
Okay.
editorial. I was thin.
You don't know
Oh,
what your future holds, twin.
yeah.
You
I
don't
didn't.
know. Okay.
Yeah, but at this point, I didn't want to eat nothing. I swear
Okay.
that I seen the Tracy Africa thing. I thought one day they was gonna roll up on me in the city and see my pretty brown skin ass,
Period.
and I was gonna be ready for whatever. And I was like really internal on my body because I just had my first heartbreak, so I
Okay.
was looking really good and patootsy. And I was walking. I heard somebody say, "Oh, you see her right there? That's gonna be my girlfriend." So I turned around and I'm 5'11", so I'm looking around. And then I look down and I see this smile, y'all.
Aw.
This smile that was so fucking big and cheesy. It was like, why is he smiling at me like that? And I was like, and he was like, you. I was like, I walked down to the pier. Mind you, at this time, like I didn't even know what was going on, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah. And then after that, scratch that, I was on POF, Plenty of Fish.
Okay.
And I was in my young age where I just wanted 4 for 4 for Wendy's
Okay, period.
and drive throughs and get high in the side part. See, I was very young, so yeah, I
Yeah.
can't judge me. But he wrote me. I was like 18. And he wrote me, he was like, can I take you out on a date? I'm like, on a date? Ain't this the boy from the city and the village up here? So I was
Right.
like, yeah. But we never went on a date.
Mhm.
And then I came and I met him at his new place where him and his family moved. And we chilled and we had a great time. And I had told him that in my life right then and there, I couldn't be with someone like him because I felt like I was already bruised and
Mhm.
abused from my last relationship where I was like 17 and he was 30.
Yeah.
And I got with him when I was 16, so my heart was like kind of fucked up over that. And I didn't want to hurt someone the way that person used me. So
Yeah.
I told him like I couldn't. There was so all these other factors, even around being, with someone of the same experience or similarity experience. And so I told him I give him a year to do whatever he wants.
Okay.
So he went around and
So the wild oats. Okay.
and he was like, I'm just going. He just went digging in the cookie jars.
Okay.
And I was hurt by it, and that's how I knew I kind of liked him. I was annoyed by it, and I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
I just told this boy he could do whatever he want, but I feel like he owes me something for a second."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the hell is wrong with me?"
Okay.
And then we had this big argument, and I like lost it, and I had called him, and I was like, "You're a liar." He said, "I'm not a liar." I'm like, "You're a liar." So I asked him, "Tell me everything and tell me the truth, and I'll be with you." He told me everything. I hung up because I knew if I tell you to tell me the truth, one thing as a black woman, if I ask you something, I already know the answer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Period.
Okay.
I know the answer. So I asked him, and he didn't answer it truthfully. So I called him back. I said, "You still gonna lie? Like this is how we gonna start off everything?"
Not you
And then
giving
he's,
that baby mama syndrome. Okay.
I'm not even playing. So I'm like,
Okay.
"Yo, tell me the truth." And he told me the truth about the last stuff. And I said, "Do you want to date me?" Mind you, he was with another black girl at the time,
Okay.
chilling with her. And he was like, and I was like, "Do you still want to date me?" And he was like, "Huh? What you said?" I said, "You still want to date me?" He said, "Why are you playing?" Because we just had like a big blowout argument. I'm
Right.
like, "I'm for real." He was like, "Brianna, stop. Don't play like that." I said, "Josiah, do you still want to date me, King? Because I will pack my stuff and come to your house tomorrow." He jumped up from whatever girl he was sitting next to, ran
Okay.
to another room, and started texting people like, "Oh, I got another girl here." He was telling me, "Look, Brianna, Kalia's here. I'm letting you know. I didn't tell you before, but she's
Right.
here now."
Okay. Let me rectify
and
this
and
real
those
quick.
and those are those are just code names.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I thought it was so funny and cute, and I had met him on the train, and I went to spend one night with him, and we started going to school together. He was going to high school, and I was going to get my GED, and every day I came home to him, and
Oh,
3 months turned to a year, and then a year turned into 5 years. February 21st.
period. Period.
I mean April 21st. Baby, don't play with me. We in February. I'm sorry, he in my business.
Okay, look. Okay, get it right. Um, so what does it mean to be in community with other women?
It means solidarity.
Yeah.
It means someone knowing the playing field that you play on. And I think that's why I'm so close to a lot of the black trans women that I'm around and black women in general, because the division between black trans women and black cis women is this idea that we don't operate the world the same way that they do.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it that we operate it worse. And that's
Yeah.
my opinion. And that's just the world's opinion. And I'm not saying our harm is erasure of black women. I'm saying that we both can exist as black women
Yeah,
and
in the
address
same
our
room.
harm collectively. So that's was the whole solidarity thing for me. Um, yeah.
I love that. And let me also give you your flowers because I really appreciate you taking it upon yourself to make that Facebook group with us and the other ladies. I think it was imperative and it was the timing of it all when it comes to in my hometown. I don't know. Maybe I got a target on my back. I don't really care anymore. Um, but what I will say is that it was refreshing to know that other women had value and other women could set aside our differences and really just be in community. And that was so important. Like one thing I appreciate is diversity is not a vibe. It's okay. Sometimes we think because we share the same walk of life or experience as being trans women that we have to always try and fit in. But Brianna is enough that walk the same path and share the same experience and value you and will instill in you without you ever having to feel less than or um things being a competition. So I appreciate you for extending authentic sisterhood.
Ashe, I appreciate that. And before I even get into that, something in my spirit, my ancestors told me to say, boundaries are violent to those who know no restraint.
Mhm, mhm.
So when you think of why people aren't dealing with you, I wouldn't think of it as a target. I would think of it as a blessing
Yes.
to be removed and to be placed where you need to be. Again, boundaries are is violence to
Mhm.
people who know no restraint, who know not know how, who don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And also, yeah, I appreciate the flowers for the group because I made that group because I want real, genuine sisterhood, and I'm
Yeah.
honest in saying that I want that.
Yeah.
Um,
Same. Same. I do mourn. I had to give myself space to mourn relationships that's not no longer. But like you said, it's boundaries. I do think this year since I practiced boundaries and peace and joy has been one thing that I put on the forefront. And you just realize those are actually the kind of like casualties of choosing that, right? Like when you choose to have peace and boundaries and letting people self-care, the practice of self-care, those things become a casualty of letting go what disrupts that. So, um yeah.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm just listening to you. I'm like, Ashe.
I love it. So, what
You
women
just be
if
clearing
any
it on up for me.
yeah, so what women if any helped or supported you with your work?
In order to say who helped and supported me with my work, I would have to say who helped and supported me as a person first.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I would say my mom, of course, my mom, the woman who gave birth to me, and my older sister, Imani. She's my second mother. She raised
Shout
me.
out to them.
Shout out to them. And when it comes to community work, I would have to say Octavia Yasmin Lewis.
Yes. Yes.
She was the first person that seen me and seen all the endless possibilities, even when I couldn't even figure them out.
I love that.
Um, so to address that work, it would have to be myself first. And those are the individuals and the women that have invested in me in ways that I couldn't even imagine. And in my work, folks that have invested into me have been Black trans media.
Yes.
I will never in a million years, I would be so remiss if I didn't say that my older brother and my older sister at Black trans media met me in a space where I was not okay.
Mhm.
I was not okay. I was very unsure. And they gave me the idea that even after those mistakes that I had made, that I could still be okay, that I
Yes.
could still do better. So it would have to be okay. I'm going to give you the list. It would have to be Sasha Alexander. It would have to
Yes.
be Olympia Sudan. It would have to be Josiah because above them he was there with me because he it was us.
Okay, it was
Josiah,
y'all.
Morticia, Devin, Aya, Eli, brother Eli. Oh my God, he's like the
Okay,
best big brother
Eli. Hey,
ever.
Eli.
Eli's a Eli's a tough big brother, like not tough with me because they all know I'm kind of like a crybaby.
Right,
But
right, right.
he's like very smart and he offers me things. And Devin is a brother that is very like emotionally and like aware of me,
Intuitive.
and
Yeah.
he really knows how to treat a Black woman in his space.
Yeah.
So having people like that taught me and taught me how to mend my relationship with Black men outside of using sex. And I
Mm.
know that might sound very different, but like it's true. All
It's
my
real. Right.
relationships with Black men that were nice to me, I felt like it was transactional.
Yeah.
And when I got with my partner, it wasn't that way, and until it became that way. And then I thought I couldn't have friends because I grew up in a world where females aren't supposed to have friends, male
Mhm.
friends. And I thought that, not that I wasn't used to it, I just didn't think that that was something that was okay, you
Yeah.
know? And then I met these black trans men that have shown me I can love you without you feeling anything. You know what I mean? Like, you deserve this love. You don't have to pay me for it. You don't have to
Fuck me for it.
not fuck me for it. You are my baby sisters. And it's not like a bitch ever wanted to. Ugh, no offense, I love my family, but hell
Right, right,
no, I'm a married woman. But it was the first time in my in my relationship to men that men showed up for me in a way that it wasn't transactional, that I didn't
yeah.
have to give them anything, and that was something that I value so much. I value that so much.
I value it as well. Like, I do love how they show up for us. I love how they protect us, guide us, lead us. So yeah, that's beautiful. So tell
Yeah.
the people about the work that you're doing currently, what it's all about and how they can find you if you want to be found.
Oh, tell people. Okay, so first and foremost, please follow us at Transblessing on Twitter.
Yes.
That's majority of where the things kind of go down. And Black Trans media basically told us about Twitter and the power of social media.
Yes.
So like that is something we have used as a tool in our arsenal when it comes to getting stuff for community. So we are a small org, but sometimes Black Trans Blessings has the opportunity where we're able to kind of navigate funds directly into Black trans people's hands. And we offer little opportunities and things where folks can come and be a part of. And
Yeah.
like, I feel like that is something that folks can do if they want to keep posted with me. My Facebook, Brianna Lee, you can definitely write me on there, but it's also very private. I think in this lifestyle, things get intimate. And
Yeah.
my life as Brianna Lee is my life as Brianna Lee. And my life as Brianna Lee as an activist and as a community organizer and a co-founder is my life at that. And I invite trans people and all the activists to the party on my main Facebook because we all family.
Period.
I ain't that high, but also I feel like if you want anything from me, if you're a black trans woman or black trans man, feel free to write me. Also, Black Trans Blessings is always open. The inbox is always open, and I would love if you wrote us there too. So yeah.
Okay, period. So the $1 million question, what is currently bringing you joy?
Oh my God. My relationships.
Yes.
I made very momentary relationships. I did not know how to have healthy discourse with friends.
Mhm.
I have not known how to sit with something someone said to me and not take it offensive. And yeah, like through these relationships that I'm building with black trans women and my black trans older brothers, um, and even like it has went over into my regular life with my partner.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you understand. I don't think not you, but I don't think people understand how important it is to have healthy relationship skills with your family, with your community, and how that those transcend to your love language and how
Yeah.
you use them. Um, I think being in community and with the ones that I love and my friends and my family that honestly know me for being bubbly and a little ditzy and all over that and accept me and make me feel safe. That has been something that's brought me joy. And knowing that as a black trans woman, God forbid, with like, and I know this is going to get dark, but with all like the things that's going on in the world and like the uncertainty around our life,
Yeah.
I know, God forbid, if something happened to me, my husband will be fine because we have built a family and community that will look out for him
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love them and my community in a way that's so personal. Even the ones that I don't get to see, like Dee Dee Waters, I don't get to see
Oh,
her often, but I
DD.
love her and I respect her. And though I may not be able to say it all the time, that's how the fuck I feel. Janetta
Period.
Johnson, I gotta meet Miss Sharon Grace, and everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, you
She
remind
is
me of
a
Sharon Grace."
gem.
I'm like, "Let
She
me
is a
meet
gem.
her."
I see
Yeah,
so
I have
much
to
of
meet her.
myself in her when I get older. Like, I feel like that's the type of older lady that I'm gonna be. Like, it's just giving that.
Auntie Cayenne came up to me one day and she was like, "You know who you remind me of?" Mind you, I was just making a plate of food.
Mhm.
And I went like this.
Uh-huh.
She said, "You know who you remind me of?" I said, "Who?" She said, Who Sharon Grayson. I said, who is that? She
Period.
pulled out
Period.
this beautiful black trans older woman who was like an elder, and I was like,
Mhm.
ooh. I
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
she is such a lady.
Uh-huh.
And
Very.
Cayenne said, my thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
You are a little lady, and that is the lady of all ladies. And
I
I thought it
love
was the most cutest thing in the
like
world.
okay, yes, like I love our auntie. Okay, period.
Yeah, I have to get to meet Miss Sharon Grayson. So there's a lot of
So
black trans women I admire that bring me joy.
period. So what we like to do, how we wrap up the Miss Mouthy podcast is like I like to leave everybody with pearls of wisdom. This is the segment in the show where we give our either life experience or some encouraging word for someone who could be living this same thing. Like sometimes we go through similar life experiences, but we don't speak on it out of fear of being misunderstood or being shunned. So, to this being Women's Month and the episode being entitled The Darker the Berry, the Sweeter the Juice, to a young dark skinned girl that might be struggling a little bit about whether it's her confidence, her appearance, or the people around her projecting their insecurities on her, what would you say to her?
There's nothing wrong with you. And though this isn't something I created, I'm sorry, baby girl. You are beautiful. You are divinely feminine. You are divinely masculine. You are divinely both.
Yes,
You are you are living in a world where we aren't supposed to be beautiful. And the reason is that way because they don't want to respect the true definition of beauty, which is us. So when you're in those lunchrooms and people make funny jokes about the texture of your hair, the color of your skin, I can't tell you to hold on to that power in that moment, but I can tell you that if no one believes that you're beautiful, I believe that you're beautiful because I know that you're beautiful, because I know that I'm beautiful. And you're going to be okay. And when you do find anybody, whether it's a friend, significant other, or yourself, it's going to be something that is so natural and something that you are so deserving of. So I love you. Oh,
I know it
I
gives.
love you. And it's okay not to be strong.
Yeah,
You you don't have to do that. You are a person, you are human. Though your skin may be like out of this world and though your hair may be like something godlike, that doesn't mean that you are like not a part of this human experience and that you don't have emotions. And it's okay not to feel confident. It's okay not to feel pretty when everyone's doing it. But knowing that you being beautiful is a fact is the only thing that's brought me any solidarity. I am beautiful, not because I say so, but because it is a fact.
period. And so I'll add on to that. Young brown skinned girl in this world, wear your crown as if it is never able to go off. Wear as if it's attached to your hair. Understand that there will be a moment in which words may hurt, but actions speak louder than words. There will be people who love you. There will be people who affirm you. There will be moments where you may question your beauty, but it is a journey to be able to get to a point, allow yourself room to survive that pain and that pressure so that you can appreciate what you see in the mirror before you. There are not a lot of people that look like you, and it's rare that you should have these qualities and these traits because God has made us all individually beautiful and unique. And one day, and this is my own personal opinion, to be a girl of that experience and have had those own thoughts and insecurities, and then be in a position where you hear others say you're beautiful, it's the most impactful thing. And one day you will then be in a position where other young girls will look up to you as a role model, as beauty, and as the standard, and they will know because of the things that you've endured. So, with that being said, thank you again so much, Brianna, for coming on. It's your girl, Miss Mouthy. Even when you what? Don't see me, you hear me. Till next time, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.